Ah, great song there. My Savior's Train from High Fidelity. My guest this morning here on Bluegrass Junction. Hi, everybody. This is Kyle Cantrell. It is good to have you along. And I said my guests are High Fidelity. I got two High Fidelities here. I got Jeremy Stevens. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having us in, Kyle.
It's good to have you. And Karina Stevens over here. How are you?
Doing well, Kyle.
Now, I got to ask you. You got on the cover art and so forth and all your publicity and everything, you have like four names.
Mm-hmm.
So so go through that. Do people call you Karina Rose, or
at this point in my life, people call me about anything.
they call you that fiddle player?
That's right. I prefer on stage going by my first three names that I've used most of my life, Karina Rose Logston. On the record, I put all my names on there just so nobody would get confused, but I think it may have added to the confusion a little more than helped.
I told her, I said, you just need to stick with Karina Rose Logston. Just make it simple. Everybody's known you that way prior to this. So,
well, yeah, that's fine. Karina Rose Logston. We'll just go with that. But wow, I think what people really know you for is the great music that you make with your husband here and all the rest of your great band. Now, who else is in High Fidelity?
Well, High Fidelity has 5 members. Kurt Stevenson, he's another one of our members, and Karina, Kurt, and myself are sort of the ones that initiated the starting of the group. Mm-hmm. And actually, Kurt is the one that had the idea originally. Kurt plays banjo and guitar sometimes, and I also play the banjo and guitar. We also have Vicky Vaughn on bass and Daniel Amick on just about whatever we need.
Whatever's left over.
Guitar, mandolin, just whatever. So we usually travel as a 4-piece. So either Daniel goes or Kurt goes. And Kurt's the only one of us that has a full-time job. He's a radiation therapist rather. And so we don't want to take him away from helping people get healed of cancer and that sort of thing.
Sure.
So he's doing that daily, and he goes when he's able to go.
Now, I saw you perform, and we were talking about this off the air a few minutes ago. I saw you perform at IBMA last year. You were on a showcase there. What 4 of you were there? It was you, Vicky, and Karina, right? The 2 of you and Vicky,
and then Daniel Amick.
It was Daniel. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I don't think I've seen Kurt on stage with you yet.
Right. Kurt does a fair bit of stuff with us in the Midwest. He lives in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and it's a little bit easier for him to travel that way.
And he is, of course, on the record. All of you are on the record, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the record being The Hills and Home, that is their current album. How long has this been out?
I believe the release date was August of 2018.
So a few months now
Mm-hmm.
that we've had this album. I've been enjoying it the whole time too.
We appreciate that.
It's so fresh, and it's so good to hear traditional bluegrass being played, and I think the fans just really love it. We immediately were hearing from people about what's that song about Hills and Home. Really enjoy that, and some of the other songs that we've played from the album. So hats off to you. You've really struck a nerve with the public on this. Interesting that you started off the album with a gospel track, though. Was there a particular rationale behind that? A lot of times you don't lead off, if you're doing a bluegrass album, with a gospel song.
Well, Kyle, we tend to like a lot of moderate tempo tunes more than quicker tunes. And it just so happens that a lot of times our gospel tunes are the ones that are a little bit more up-tempo. On our first record, which was our self-titled High Fidelity record, we also started with a gospel track, and it just seemed like the right thing to do with this one. We surveyed all the songs, and My Savior's Train just felt like the right fit for song.
So it was a tempo thing?
Yes.
Simple as that?
The tempo, the feel, and the instruments that are showcased, the way that everyone sort of gets a break in there. It shows off all the soloists and all of that sort of thing.
Of course, you have deep roots in gospel music, and we'll probably get into that as we go along. I appreciate you coming in here and sitting in with me and being on the show here. So
glad to be here.
Well, throughout the rest of our time together, we're going to hear all of the songs from the High Fidelity album, Hills and Home. We heard My Savior's Train. That was the lead-off song from the album. And now we're going to play a tune called The Leaf of Love. What can you tell me about this song?
The Leaf of Love was written by Tex Williams, and we actually got our version from it through the Carter sisters off of a live radio air check that a friend of mine in Virginia, Darren Moore, actually told us about, and we added this one to the album after we'd already done pretty much the whole album, and we really liked it and thought it would be one that would be a good one to do. So we sort of worked up a duet arrangement on it, and hope the folks like it.
Not too many people know this about me, but I'm a Tex Williams fan, and
Wow.
sometimes caught listening to his records and records that he did with Spade Cooley too,
Very cool.
in the car as I'm driving down the road. And if people wonder what I'm singing along with, sometimes it's that, or trying to talk along with him on some of those songs.
Right.
That's another story. We'll talk about Tex Williams on another show, but let's play this great song from him by my guest, High Fidelity. Here is The Leaf of Love on Bluegrass Junction.